Canada has been known throughout the world as one of the most polite and respected countries. Due to this, we have achieved a prestigious identity that most citizens embody in their everyday lives. Winston Churchill, a British Prime Minister, once said, "There are no limits to the majestic future what lies before the mighty expanse of Canada, with its virile, aspiring, cultured, and generous-hearted people." This quote still proves to be true today.
The things that set us apart from the Americans is publicly funded health care, higher taxation to distribute wealth, outlawing capital punishment, strong efforts to eliminate poverty, an emphasis on multiculturalism, imposing strict gun control, and most recently legalizing same-sex marriage. In 1962, we altered the multicultural policy to accept people of different cultures and allow them free practice of their religions and customs. Today, over 38% of people in Toronto were born outside of Canada and 30% in Vancouver. Although immigration to the larger cities is more popular, Canada has embraced the concept of multiculturalism. It also promotes the tolerance of ethnic and religious minorities, which promotes a greater tolerance of political differences. More and more immigration is coming from all parts of the world. Europe, Asia, Africa, and even the States have an even flow of people coming to Canada. Although a very small number of Canadians have first-hand immigration experience, everyone has a relative that has come to this country from a strange land.
Although Canadians play many sports, hockey has become Canada's national game.
Hockey started out fairly modest in North America, with a 6-team league developing called the National Hockey League. These teams included the Montreal Canadiens, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Boston Bruins, Detroit Red Wings, the Chicago Blackhawks, and the New York Rangers. From this, the game has developed into the 29-team league that we have today. The Summit Series pitted the Canadians against the Russians at the height of the Cold War. There was to be 8 games played altogether, 4 in Canada and 4 in Russia. Canada started off slow and went down 3-1 in the games. They battled back, however, to tie the series at 3 apiece. Going into the final game, they were down 5-3 going into the third period. They managed to tie it up, and with 34 seconds left, Paul Henderson streaked across the goal and scored the game-winning goal. This goal is often considered the goal heard around the world and secured hockey in Canada's identity. Aside from hockey, our national sport for summer is lacrosse. The sport is representative of Aboriginals' contribution to Canadian history and how it's still part of our identity today. With the invention of several useful and revolutionary products, Canada has been considered one of the most ambitious and creative countries in the world. Some of these inventions include Alexander Graham Bell's invention of the telephone, the National Aeronautical Establishment invented the Canadarm, in sports, James Naismith invented basketball in 1892. Probably one of the most important inventions in Canadian history is the Canadian Pacific Railroad, or the CPR. The CPR was vital in getting British Columbia to join Confederation in 1870, and continues to be an important symbol for Canada today. Canada has produced some of the greatest people in the world, not only for the country but internationally as well. Without these people, Canada would not be the great nation it is today. In Canadian history, one of the first great people to arise was John A. Macdonald. In 1864, the government was in political deadlock, and Macdonald realized something had to be done. Macdonald began to pitch his idea of a union of the colonies to reform the government to become one nation. He succeeded and went on to become Canada's first Prime Minister. He has been immortalized on the $10 bill and was a vital part of Canada's entrance into nationhood. In more modern times, Pierre Trudeau was also one of the greatest Prime Ministers Canada has ever seen. He introduced the Charter of Rights, which gave us a true sense of identity for the first time and pushed the concept of national unity. He also advocated multiculturalism for Canada and was one of the most outspoken, flamboyant, but effective people Canada has ever housed. Another important Canadian in history was Tommy Douglas, who introduced the concept of public health care. Although they have not contributed greatly to the political side of Canada, Canadian celebrities have made a name for themselves in all facets of the media. Celebrities like Kiefer Sutherland, Matthew Perry, Keanu Reeves, Catherine O'Hara, or Mike Myers are all from this great nation. Bands such as 3 Days Grace, Billy Talent, Nickelback, and Sum 41 have all been major worldwide stars and still are true to their roots. Soul artists such as Avril Lavigne, Michael Bublé, and Shania Twain all fall into this category as well. Due to our unique identity, we are respected throughout the world and are a close-knit country of all cultures, races, and most importantly, citizens alike.